In a move that has the potential to fundamentally reshape the future of WWE's global operations, the acquisition of Lucha Libre AAA worldwide and the surprising re-signing of Alberto Del Rio under WWE contract marks a watershed moment that stretches beyond mere talent transactions. For the first time in decades, WWE is not just expanding into an international territory with partnerships or localized content, but outright absorbing an entire legacy promotion that defines Mexican lucha libre culture. The announcement that WWE finalized terms to acquire AAA over WrestleMania 41 weekend signaled far more than just another corporate merger. It represents WWE's strategic attempt to own, reframe, and dictate the direction of lucha libre on a global scale, tapping directly into a fan base and wrestling heritage that has remained both culturally distinct and commercially resilient for over half a century. AAA, founded in 1992 by Antonio Peña, has long been Mexico's most innovative and high-profile lucha promotion, producing stars like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and countless others, while also establishing a stylistic and narrative identity that separates Mexican pro wrestling from its American and Japanese counterparts. Unlike previous WWE international expansions, such as NXT UK, which faced backlash for poaching talent and diluting the UK indie scene, this move doesn't just import wrestlers into WWE's system. Instead, it allows WWE to directly control one of the most important non-American promotions while embedding its own infrastructure, contracts, and business practices into the heart of Mexico's wrestling industry. The decision to offer new WWE contracts to AAA's top stars, including El Hijo del Vikingo, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., La Parca, Niño Hamburguesa, and multiple others, was not merely procedural bureaucracy. As reported by Ernesto Ocampo of Super Luchas, the existing AAA contracts were structurally incompatible with WWE's expectations regarding exclusivity, intellectual property, and termination clauses. WWE's legal framework, built to safeguard content and control distribution rights in an era dominated by streaming platforms and cross-border entertainment deals, demands a level of contractual rigor that AAA's legacy agreements could not satisfy. By transitioning these talents to WWE contracts, the company ensures not only seamless integration post-acquisition, but also prevents legal ambiguity over wrestler appearances, merchandising, and content ownership. The most polarizing and headline-grabbing of these signings is undoubtedly Alberto Del Rio, known internationally as Alberto El Patron. Once a central figure in WWE's main event scene, Del Rio's history with the company spans two major stints between 2009 and 2016, where he captured the WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Championship, United States Championship, Royal Rumble victory, and a Money in the Bank briefcase win. His technical proficiency, aristocratic heel persona, and deep lucha libre lineage positioned him as one of the most significant Mexican wrestlers to ever succeed within WWE's corporate system. Yet Del Rio's tumultuous personal and legal history, marked most notably by 2020 aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault charges that were ultimately dismissed, has made him one of the most controversial figures in modern wrestling. For years, both public sentiment and internal WWE sources, as per Fightful Select, dismissed any possibility of a return, with emphatic statements about distancing the brand from Del Rio's baggage. Yet circumstances change rapidly when corporate strategy and global expansion converge. Del Rio is not simply returning as a nostalgia act or to fill a veteran spot on the roster. His signing under WWE contract, in tandem with the AAA acquisition, positions him at the center of WWE's most ambitious attempt to repackage and globalize lucha libre within its sports entertainment empire. The fact that Del Rio is currently the reigning AAA mega champion during this acquisition cannot be overstated. His title reign ties him directly to AAA's top storylines, locker room, and cultural cachet, granting WWE immediate symbolic control over AAA's championship landscape. Unlike other AAA signees, most of whom will continue working AAA shows and sporadically appear at NXT joint events, Del Rio brings mainstream recognition, bilingual media skills, and an existing WWE fanbase that bridges both Mexican and American audiences. His re-signing is not merely an addition to the talent pool. It is a strategic pivot that could realign WWE's long-term booking philosophy, its approach to Latin American markets, and even its positioning within the global pro wrestling industry. Del Rio is uniquely equipped to function as a transitional figure, a talent who understands both lucha libre's intricate traditions and WWE's sports entertainment mechanics, capable of anchoring crossover narratives that will be crucial as WWE integrates AAA's IP, characters, and style into its programming. His ability to work seamlessly in American-style matches while maintaining authentic lucha libre credibility makes him a far more versatile tool than any single NXT call-up or performance center prospect. Del Rio's role could be monumental in helping WWE finally crack a Mexican market that, despite sporadic tours and talent showcases, has remained relatively impervious to sustained WWE dominance. Past efforts to court Mexican fans, whether via Rey Mysterio's title runs, Sin Cara's botched pushes, or Lucha House Party gimmicks, have largely failed to generate lasting impact because they lacked cultural authenticity and grassroots connection. By acquiring AAA, WWE bypasses the need to artificially manufacture lucha legitimacy, with Del Rio positioned as the crossover megastar, leading joint events, title matches, and storyline integrations. WWE could finally cement a permanent presence in Mexican arenas, pay-per-views, and media channels under its own corporate umbrella. Equally important is Del Rio's potential to revitalize NXT's faltering brand identity. NXT, once the gold standard of hybrid indie strong-style wrestling, has struggled in recent years to define its niche amid constant main roster call-ups, creative resets, and branding overhauls. Introducing AAA's luchadors alongside Del Rio, especially in NXT's Florida-based tapings and touring schedule, injects fresh storytelling avenues and stylistic diversity that could re-energize the product. Del Rio's credibility with both American and Mexican audiences allows him to act as a narrative bridge, legitimizing AAA talent within the NXT ecosystem, while mentoring younger stars on how to navigate WWE's production expectations. This alone could create long-term dividends for WWE's developmental system and global expansion. From a macro business standpoint, Del Rio's signing symbolizes something even broader, with WWE's parent company TKO Group Holdings aggressively pursuing international growth strategies post-merger. The ability to anchor new markets around recognizable stars with cross-border appeal is invaluable. Del Rio's fluent English, and Spanish, coupled with his previous mainstream media exposure in both Mexico and the US, position him as a corporate ambassador who can front marketing campaigns, streaming content launches, and live event promotions with cultural fluency that few other WWE stars possess. Unlike younger AAA talents who may require years of adaptation to WWE's branding standards, Del Rio is a plug-and-play figure who can headline press conferences, sponsor activations, and flagship shows immediately. Furthermore, the current WWE landscape, dominated by a shifting main event scene following John Cena's heel turn and 17th world title reign, as well as Paul Heyman's betrayal storyline involving Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, creates an opening for fresh international narratives. Del Rio's reintroduction as a veteran world champion aligned with AAA's acquisition allows WWE Creative to weave new feuds that interlace national pride, faction warfare, and corporate intrigue at a scale rarely seen since the peak of the WCW versus NWO Invasion era. Imagine a storyline where Del Rio, flanked by newly signed AAA talents, asserts Lucha Libre's dominance within WWE, challenging champions across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT to defend not just titles, but nationalistic honor. Such an angle would resonate deeply with Mexican audiences, while offering fresh matchups and dramatic stakes that invigorate WWE's increasingly predictable card structures. Del Rio's past experience working with WWE's biggest stars, John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk, and others, also means he re-enters a locker room where his in-ring storytelling vocabulary is already familiar. This mitigates the risk that plagues many international signees who struggle to adjust to WWE's hard cam focus, promo structures, and production timing. His veteran status allows him to anchor marquee matches at premium live events, act as a gatekeeper for rising stars like Carmelo Hayes or Braun Breaker, and potentially even re-engage in dream matches with modern icons like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, or AJ Styles. The storytelling possibilities expand exponentially when considering the intersection of his 8AA championship status, his WWE accolades, and the newly available 8AA roster members who could act as stablemates, challengers, or antagonists. Additionally, Del Rio's off-screen utility should not be underestimated. His deep familial ties to Lucha Libre royalty, being the son of legendary Docaras and the nephew of Mil Mascaras, grants him respect and access within the broader lucha community that few modern stars can match. As WWE looks to absorb 8AA's talent infrastructure, secure developmental partnerships with Mexican schools, and potentially scout future stars from Latin America. Del Rio's connections and industry knowledge will be invaluable in smoothing relationships that might otherwise bristle under foreign corporate ownership. Critically, Del Rio's controversial past, while a public relations liability, also paradoxically creates narrative intrigue that WWE's modern programming could exploit.